Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Buffalo online. It is so good to be together here on this stormy Christmas Eve. I welcome you as we gather snug in each of our homes. My name is Joan Montagnes, and I get to serve you, this congregation, as minister. It is an honor and a privilege. I want to thank John Petroselli and Karen Streech for helping to make this quick pivot to an online service. It was quite a remarkable feat. I want to apologize that there will be no music through this service or tomorrow morning service. We just couldn't do that kind of a quick swap out, but it hopefully we'll have just a nice time together anyway. If you get a chance right about now, it's a good time to go and get a candle because we're going to have a virtual passing of the light. We will have a candlelight part of the service, and you might like to share in that ritual. It is good to be here and afar to mark this eve as holy and special, a time to remember the birth of hope, peace, and love in the middle of winter. I'll light the chalice with this reading. Can you see that? There. On this eve of mystery and magic, let us enter into the Christmas story as if there on the holy night. What part will we play this year? Are you the mother, trusting your body to know what to do when the time of birth comes? Are you the father, protecting your vulnerable family from unknown threats on a strange journey? Are you the innkeeper who has no room, desperate to find space for travelers? Perhaps you're the animals who can hear the child's first cry. On this silent night, let us search our hearts for our place in the Christmas story that never ends. Let us choose again our role in the incarnation of love. Come, let us worship. Today or tonight, I'll be sharing a couple of stories. The first story comes from the Gospel of Luke, and I like to call it the Linus story because I remember it from Charlie Brown's Christmas as much as anywhere else. And it came to pass in those days that there went out a decree from Caesar Augustus that all the world should be taxed. And this taxing was first made when Cyrenius was governor of Syria. And all went to be taxed, everyone into his own city. And Joseph also went up to be from Galilee, out of the city of Nazareth, into Judea, unto the city of David, which is called Bethlehem, because he was of the house and lineage of David, to be taxed with Mary, his espoused wife, being great with child. And so it was that while they were there, the days were accomplished that she should be delivered. And she brought forth her firstborn son, and wrapped him in swaddling clothes, and laid him in a manger, because there was no room for them in the inn. And there were in that same country shepherds, abiding in the field, keeping watch over their flock by night. And lo, the angel of the Lord came upon them, and the glory of the Lord shone round about them, and they were sore afraid. And the angel said unto them, Fear not, for behold, I bring you good tidings of great joy, which shall be to all people. For unto you is born this day in the city of David a Savior, which is Christ the Lord. And this shall be a sign unto you. Ye shall find the babe wrapped in swaddling clothes, lying in a manger. And suddenly there was with the angel a multitude of the heavenly host, praising God and saying, Glory to God in the highest, and on earth peace, goodwill toward men. And it came to pass, as the angels were gone away from them into heaven, the shepherds said to one another, Let us go now even unto Bethlehem, and see this thing which is come to pass, which the Lord hath made known unto us. And they came with haste, and found Mary and Joseph and the babe lying in a manger. And when they had seen it, they made known a broad saying which was told to them concerning this child. And all they that heard it wondered at those things which were told them by the shepherds. But Mary kept all these things and pondered them in her heart. That was a story from Luke. Now I want to tell you a story from Robert Fulghum. Robert Fulghum is a Unitarian Universalist minister who wrote a whole bunch of books, but this excerpt is entitled Always Wanted a Cuckoo Clock. Always wanted a cuckoo clock, a big Baroque German job with all kinds of carved fubas and a little bird that leaps out once an hour and hollers an existential comment about life. So I got one for my best friend, who also happens to be my wife and lives in the same house as me. See how the way this deal works is that she usually doesn't like what I give her for Christmas anyway, and I usually end up with it in the end. So I figure I might as well start out by giving her something I want in the first place. So when I get it back, I can be truly grateful. I know it's wicked, but it's realistic and practical. And don't get all high-minded about this as if you would never think of doing such a thing. Anyway, I wanted an authentic antique cuckoo clock, but they cost a bundle. And this store had new ones, overstocked, special cheap price, hot deal. So I bought one. There was a message written in small print on the carton, which I missed reading. Some assembly is required, it read. The carton produced 5 plastic bags of miscellaneous parts and an ersatz Bavarian goat herd hut marked genuine simulated wood. And to top it off, a plastic deer head that looked like Bambi's mother. I put it all together with no parts left over, thank you, and hung it on the wall. Pulled down the weights, pushed the pendulum, and stepped back. It ticked and talked in a comforting kind of way. Never before had an enterprise worked quite so well for me. The damn thing actually worked. The hour struck, the little door opened. The little bird did not come out, but from deep within its hole came a raspy, muffled cucka, cucka, cucka. 3 cuckas? That's it? That's all? but the hands of the clock said noon. I peered into the innards of the Bavarian alpine hut of simulated wood. There was the bird. Using an ice pick and a chopstick, I tried to pry the creature forth. It seemed loose. I reset the clock to 3. The clock ticked and tucked, then clanged, the door flung open. No bird. Out of the darkness at the back of the hut came Guk, but no ooh, and not even an ah. Applying the principle of if it won't move, force it, I resorted to a rubber mallet and a coat hanger, and followed by a vigorous shaking. Reset the clock, hour struck, doors open, silence. Close inspection revealed a small avian corpse with a spring around its neck lying on its side. Not many people have murdered a cuckoo clock bird, but I had done it. I could see Christmas morning. Here, dear, a cuckoo clock for you. The bird is dead. And I did. I gave her the clock and I told her the story and she laughed. She kept the clock too, dead bird and all for a while. The clock and the bird are long gone from our house now, and Christmas has come and gone many times as well. But the story gets told every year when we gather with friends in December. They laugh, and my wife looks at me and grins her grin, and I grin back. She reminds me that the real cuckoo bird in the deal was not the critter inside the clock. I remember. And me? Well, I still don't have a cuckoo clock of my own, but I have kept something. It is the memory of the Christmas message written on the packaging carton. It read, "Some assembly is required to assemble the best that is within you and give it away, and assemble with those you love to rekindle joy." Thus ends our second reading. I say this to you, my best beloveds, here gathered this season, this evening. May your Christmas season be filled with all kinds of gifts, some as unruly as a mixed flock of turtle doves, French hens, swans, geese, and cuckoos, with a side helping of drummers and dancers. May you find magic bells and wishes come true, and rewarding adventures and all kinds of new friends. May your gifts be clearly labeled. Some assembly is required. For every Christmas requires that the best of us and the best within you is reassembled and given away. And especially on this stormy Christmas Eve, let us remember that assembly takes time, and that the best gifts are neither given nor received nor completely put together on a single day in December, but over a long, loving lifetime. Christmas is a time to celebrate in song and story that the divine is born on earth and dwells as a sacred spark within the heart of every child of every age, of every land. Christmas is a time to celebrate in tradition and ritual that the holy lives when we gather in love with family and friends to bring hope to our world. This is a season that breaks in on our lives, that demands that we open our hearts in hope and generosity, that reminds us of the grace of unearned gifts. And it is in this spirit that we light our Christmas candles. Through this year, though this year we cannot light our candles off each other's candles, we cannot pass the flame in the usual way. Our shared radiance will still bring the holy to the mundane and warmth in the cold. So if you have a candle, I invite you now to light it. And if you don't, you can imagine that you do. And that is plenty good enough. For so the children come. I always read this reading at Christmas. It reminds me that this is a season of hope coming to birth while days are short and nights are long. It is a time to look within and find the divine and the holy that lives in our hearts as equal children of all that is sacred. Christmas is a season of joyful gatherings. It's a season of giving and receiving love. Sophia Lyon-Fahs, who was a religious educator in our denomination, she wrote once upon a time about children coming into the world and compared them to the miraculous birth story we hear every Christmas Eve. She wrote, "For so the children come, and so they have been coming. Always in the same way they come. No angels herald their beginnings. No prophets predict their future courses. No wise men see a star to show to find the babe that will save humankind. Yet every night a child is born is a holy night. Parents sitting beside their children's cribs feel glory in the sight of a new life beginning. They ask, where and how will this new life end? Or will it ever end? Each night a child is born is a holy night, a time for singing, a time for wondering, a time for worshiping. In the spirit of Christmas, I invite you to share the light beyond our worship service. Reach out to your friends. See how they are faring during the storm. If you have heat, welcome a family into your home for the hot meal and a shower. Find a warm place for them to spend this holy night. Share the warmth of the Spirit and join in building the beloved community. In benediction, I say to you, this Christmas, I wish for you the light of a brilliant star, the warmth of home and hearth, the cheer of goodwill and friends, and the joy of 1,000 angels. Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night. Merry Christmas, everyone.